Director, Ramanujan College, Dr. K. Lata, and the participants of the program. I am Isha Gangwani from the Department of Economics, Ramanujan College. I, along with my organizing team, welcome you all to the inaugural ceremony of online 2-week interdisciplinary refresher course cum faculty development program on revisiting Kautilya's Arthashastra, organized by the Teaching Learning Center. In collaboration with the Department of Economics, Department of Political Science, Department of Management, and the Center for Indian Knowledge System, Ramanujan College. This program is hosted under the Ministry of Education sponsored initiative Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. Kautilya's Arthashastra is the most comprehensive treatise on statecraft, virtually dealing with every aspect on governance and skillful management of the affairs of the state. Interestingly, Kautilyan ideas and concepts have found relevance in the contemporary political economy, economics of governance, and in the practice of management. Based on understanding and interpretations of Kautilya's writing, several contemporary authors have drawn valuable insights for corporate social responsibility, value-based management, land management, asset management, statecraft, administration, taxation, fiscal policy, foreign policy, and so on. This program has been carefully and thoughtfully curated to build a holistic understanding of the text Kautilya Arthashastra with an interdisciplinary approach. It holistically covers the various aspects like the framework of the Arthashastra and the Kautilyan thought on the governance of internal as well as external matters of the state, fiscal policy, taxation, and foreign policy, and the relevance of Arthashastra in the contemporary times. To execute and shape up this program, we have the honor of having very learned and scholarly researchers and academicians from the field of political science, economics, and international relations, and even Sanskrit from across the country to contribute towards this program. We have some of these experts and who have contributed lectures to the program also joined the inauguration ceremony. I would like to welcome Colonel Pradeep Kumar Gautam and Dr. Suresh Rangarajan from the Kerala University. We are also happy to, in this program, we are happy to receive Pan India response for participation in the course. Now, to proceed with the program, I would like to invite our Principal and Director, Teaching Learning Center, to formally welcome our chief guest and the participants. So,
thank you, Isha. Good evening, namaskar. एक बार आप सभी का इस प्रोग्राम में बहुत-बहुत स्वागत. Today we have with us our keynote speaker and chief guest, Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, who is not only an author, but a master of the subject, because I happened to listen to him in one program which we organized physically in our college. And let me tell you that he gave me a book he recently published on 100, basically, 100 sutras or main points of Kautilya's Arthashastra. And I have gone through them, understanding each one of them in a way that how these affect the society or the public at large. Today, we also have our chairman, Dr. Jigar Inamdar, who is also, has special knowledge in this subject. And he has also gone through the Kautilya's Arthashastra. I'm basically naive in this area, trying to understand certain things. We also welcome the organizing team and all the participants who have joined us from Pan India. As Isha was telling you that Ramanujan College Teaching Learning Center, basically Ramanujan College these days are more known by Teaching Learning Center than its own entity, Ramanujan College, which is a Delhi University maintained institution. And we are basically into 3 areas mathematical sciences, commerce management, and humanities, where our main focus is on economics, political science, philosophy, and psychology. And also, since the name is, in the name of great mathematician Ramanujan, we are trying to do something to integrate all the three areas through Indian knowledge system. Recently, we have conceived of the idea suggested by our chairman itself to open a center on Indian knowledge system. And let me tell you that this is one of the programs, but we have also, we are also going to launch a course on Bhagavad Gita on 22nd December, which will continue for next 20 days and will culminate on 9th of January. Some of you might be keen to join that course also. That will be both in the mode of offline and online. As regards this program, which is basically, to understand the basics of Kautilya's Arthashastra, and as the name suggests, it is not only the Arthashastra, it is not only the economics. As Isha said, it has to do with each and every aspect, whether it is administration, governance, political science, history, life skills, or we can apply in each and every area which we are teaching in our classrooms. So in this respect, we all need to understand the Kautilya's Arthashastra and see its application in our day-to-day teaching. If we can do it, I think we can achieve some of his objectives which he has spelled out. Now, it is also, which I could understand, is interdisciplinary in nature. It links various things together. And it also takes care of our objective of NEP 2020, which is the main focus of our government on new education policy, and to understand each area with the help of Indian knowledge system, where not only the Indian knowledge system, also the languages, देश की different भाषाएं, उनको भी integrate करना है, और इनसे understand करके हमें टीचिंग अगर हम कर सकते हैं तो उसकी थोड़ी कोशिश हमें करनी होगी. तो I think the purpose of this course is not to make you knowledgeable in all the areas of Kautilya's Arthashastra, but to give a glimpse to you so that you can read further in this area and integrate those ideas which are relevant to your subject or relevant to your day-to-day life, relevant to your governance, relevant to your teamwork, relevant to your how to deal with opposing views, or how to deal with people who have different ideas than your ideas. So all these can be tackled easily if we can understand some of his teachings through this course. Kautilya not only wrote in this area, but he was the top strategist, because he's also known as Chanakya, known as Vishnu Gupta. So in literal terms, when we used to talk in different groups, so one group talking to another group saying that you are getting strategy from Chanakya, and somebody referred as Chanakya. So what it really means is that he was the top strategist. So making strategy by understanding his value system is extremely important for this dispensation or this course, which we are trying through this faculty development program, because training of teachers is very important if we really need to understand the Indian knowledge system, or if we need to understand Kautilya's Arthashastra or any other epic, whether it is Bhagavad Gita or any other thing. Because I am a student of management, little bit what I could understand is that these things are very helpful in day-to-day decision making, not only in educational institution also in corporates, also in household. So any area, if you can think in a right manner, can be applied. So with this remark, because I said I'm not an expert in this area, I just welcome all of you once again, and we would like to listen to our main speaker, who is the authority in this area, and also to our chairman. Thank you very much. Over to Isha.
Isha, you are mute.
Thank you, sir. We have with us Dr. Jigar Inamdar, who does not generally want an extensive introduction. So, but I must mention that he has been the key inspiration who encouraged us to design such a program. So, I would like to invite you, sir, to address the audience and say a few words. So,
thank you so much, Isha. I would like to congratulate the organizing board of this program, director and our respected principal, Professor Sumad Agarwal ji, our external advisor, Dr. Asawari Bapat ma'am, our program director, Professor K. Lata ma'am, convener, Miss Isha Gangwani, co-convener, Dr. Aparajita Mujumdar, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग कमेटी के हमारे दोनों सदस्य भाई चंदन शर्मा और डॉक्टर विशाखा शर्मा, हमारी पूरी टेक्निकल टीम, निखिल, विपिन, आशीष जी, सचिन जी, शिप्रा, मैं सभी को हृदयपूर्वक इस सुंदर कार्यक्रम के आयोजन के लिए बधाई देना चाहता हूँ। मेरी साउंड क्वालिटी थोड़ी वीक रहेगी, मैं राजस्थान के किसी इंटीरियर एरिया में हूँ और मैं ज्यादा समय तक जुड़ भी नहीं पाऊंगा आप सबसे, क्योंकि कोई अनफॉर्चुनेट इंसिडेंट हुआ है और इसीलिए मैंने बहुत करीबी दोस्त खोया है, मैं वहीं पे हूँ, तो बहुत थोड़े समय के लिए आप सबसे जुड़ा हूँ। मैं रामानुजन परिवार की ओर से आदरणीय राधा कृष्णन पिल्लई जी का हृदयपूर्वक स्वागत करता हूँ और मैं सिर्फ 2 मुद्दे आप सबके सम्मुख रखना चाहता हूँ, जिनके ऊपर हम पूरा फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम करने जा रहे हैं। चाणक्य, कौटिल्य, विष्णुगुप्त, जितने नाम उनके लिए जाएं, जितने रोल उन्होंने जीवन में निभाए हैं, वो रोल काउंट किए जाए शायद कम है। और व्यक्तिगत रूप से मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि एक शिक्षक की सबसे बड़ी, सबसे सच्ची, सबसे जेन्युइन व्याख्या अगर कोई है तो वो कौटिल्य है। शिक्षक सिर्फ अध्यापन तक अपने आप को सीमित नहीं रख सकता। अध्यापन के लिए अध्ययन जरूरी है, अनुसंधान जरूरी है, पढ़ाने के लिए पढ़ना जरूरी है, शोध जरूरी है, और इसीलिए भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा के विचार को आने वाले कई और वर्षों तक, सदियों तक चिरंजीव रखने के लिए रामानुजन कॉलेज के माध्यम से गीता जयंती के पवित्र दिवस पर 22 दिसंबर को, जो हमारा कॉलेज का स्थापना दिवस भी है, उस दिवस पे हम भारतम नाम से भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा का अध्ययन, अध्यापन और अनुसंधान का केंद्र शुरू करने जा रहे हैं। विषय के ऊपर बात करने के लिए आदरणीय राधा कृष्णन पिल्लई जी हैं, उनका ज्यादा समय लेना ये ठीक नहीं होगा, पर मैं आप सबसे एक अनुरोध करना चाहूंगा रामानुजन परिवार की ओर से कि इस भारतम के विचार को ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों तक पहुंचाने के लिए आप सभी किसी न किसी प्रकार के भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा के विषय के साथ अपने आप को जोड़ने का प्रयास करें। हमारे पास पौराणिक इतना सारा ज्ञान है, उस ज्ञान को समझना और उस ज्ञान में से आज की प्रासंगिकता को ढूंढना, रिलेवेंस को ढूंढना, ये हम सबकी सामुदायिक जिम्मेदारी है और आप सब मिलकर इस दिशा में अपना योगदान देने के लिए प्रयासरत रहेंगे। यही आप सबसे मेरी अपेक्षा है, मेरा निवेदन है। 22 तारीख से श्रीमद् भगवत गीता के रिलेवेंस के ऊपर भी हम एक सर्टिफिकेट प्रोग्राम शुरू करने जा रहे हैं। इसी प्रकार से अलग अलग धर्म, पंथ, संप्रदाय, उन धर्म, पंथ और संप्रदाय के धार्मिक ग्रंथ, ये सारी चीजें ऐसी है जिसने हमेशा कुछ नया सिखाया है, अच्छा ही सिखाया है। हम उसका अर्थघटन, इंटरप्रिटेशन क्या करते हैं, ये हमारे ऊपर है। हम सच्चा इंटरप्रिटेशन करें, हम सच्चा और अच्छा अर्थघटन करें, उसमें से कुछ सीखें, सीख के सिखाएं और ज्ञान की इस ज्योत को निरंतर प्रज्वलित रखे, यही आज के दिन आप सबसे अपेक्षा, आप सबको निवेदन। फिर एक बार ऑर्गेनाइजिंग टीम को मैं हृदयपूर्वक शुभकामना देता हूँ। आदरणीय अग्रवाल साहब के नेतृत्व में रामानुजन कॉलेज सच्चे अर्थ में एक महाविद्यालय से विश्वविद्यालय की दिशा में आगे कूच कर रहा है, प्रगति कर रहा है, और इस परिवार का एक सदस्य होने का सच्चे अर्थ में मुझे गौरव है। फिर एक बार आदरणीय सावरी बापट मैम एक्सटर्नल एडवाइजर के रूप में इस पूरे फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम को शेप देने में उन्होंने जो सहयोग किया है, मैं हृदयपूर्वक उनका ऋण स्वीकार करता हूँ। राधा कृष्णन पिल्लई जी एक बार कॉलेज में और दूसरी बार आज ऑनलाइन स्वरूप में हमारे बीच उपस्थित है। उनका हर एक मिनट हमारे लिए बहुत ज्यादा कीमती है, इसीलिए उनके और आपके बीच में ज्यादा समय न लेते हुए मैं मेरी बात को पूर्ण करता हूँ। सभी को बहुत बहुत बधाई और सभी का रामानुजन परिवार में हृदयपूर्वक स्वागत।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, आपका जुड़ने का, और इस समय में जिस तरीके से आपने कहा कि बहुत क्लोज व्यक्ति को खोया है, बहुत बहुत आपका आभार। और टेक केयर ऑफ योर सेल्फ बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, और मैं समझता हूँ कि इस दुख की घड़ी में हम भी आप सब लोग आपके साथ हैं। धन्यवाद सर।
धन्यवाद सर। कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए वी टेक द ऑनर of welcoming Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai as the chief guest for the inauguration ceremony of the faculty development program on revisiting Kautilya's Arthashastra. Heartiest welcome to you, sir. Dr. Pillai is rated as India's #1 best-selling business author with 17 best-selling books on Chanakya, starting from corporate Chanakya to the children's series named Chatur Chanakya. And these books have seen a record-breaking sales. Dr. Pillai is the founder and director of Chanakya International Institute of Leadership Studies at the University of Mumbai. The institute offers the world's first postgraduate academic program in leadership, named Masters in Leadership Science. He also teaches in various universities and educational institutions as a visiting faculty. Dr. Pillai has done over 1,000 lectures in institutions like National Defence College, Defence Services Staff College, Indian Institute of Management, Indian Institute of Technology, Indian Institute of Science, Reserve Bank of India, Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, to just name a few. Dr. Pillai has been a leadership and strategy advisor to over 500 organizations, including corporations, government and non-governmental organizations, which include Indian Oil Corporation, HPCL, BPCL, Tata Group of Companies, Reliance Industries, Aditya Birla Group, Mahindra and Mahindra, Indian Navy, Air Force, Police Academics, and so on. Dr. Pillai has been conferred with various national and international awards, including Avishkar Research Award by Governor of Maharashtra, Sardar Patel International Award for Contribution to Industrial Development, Rotary International Award in the field of education, Lokmat Award for Best Teacher in Philosophy, Litofest Award received at the House of Lords, the British Parliament, among few others. Dr. Pillai has been part of various national and international projects of the Government of India, including First International Yoga Day Academic Conference organized in USA by Indian Council of Cultural Relations and Consulate General of New York as the chief convener. It is indeed our privilege to have this opportunity to listen to Dr. Pillai. So without further ado, I invite Dr. Pillai to kindly deliver the keynote address.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect, sir. Perfect, sir.
Thank you so much, Agrawal sir, and the whole organizing team at Ramanuja College at Delhi University. I'm so glad that we're starting with the Teaching and Learning Center, but as Dr. Jigar already announced, very soon on Gita Jayanti Day, you'll have a separate IK center, Indian Health Systems, where even though we'll start with Kautilya, we're going to go beyond Kautilya and maybe explore Bhagavad Gita to Ayurveda to yoga. I'm sure this is going to be a revolution in what we call Bharatiya Gyan Parampara. Today, I have one simple job. वो कहते हैं ना चाबी देना. We had this, toys where you have to just ignite the toy and leave it. So as the chief guest of the inaugural session, my job is simple, but the work has to continue after the inaugural. In fact, maybe after 5 years, when we look back and say we have created so much knowledge. In fact, India had been the knowledge and economic capital of the world. एक कहावत है, और I would say एक मान्यता है कि सरस्वती और लक्ष्मी साथ में नहीं चलती. I totally disagree. In fact, Chanakya is a person who believed that Jnana and economics go hand in hand. Here we have Arthashastra, and I'm sure as an eminent institute where we are learning economics, we'll have Indian economic model, and we'll definitely create inputs that will help not only India but also globally, because the current systems of economics have been questioned widely, not only in our country but globally. So let's revisit Arthashastra. But before I begin, I'd like to thank once again Agrawal sir and of course Isha ma'am and all the organizers over here who have been coming to me again and again and again. That's very heartening. एक बार बोलना ठीक है, but as चाणक्य से अपने ही घर में अपने ही लोग अगर तुम्हें बार बार बुलाए, it's an honor. There's so many senior citizens who just wait for an invitation of their own family members. Maybe it's a birthday, it's a marriage. And for a person like me who's a teacher, getting invited by so many organizations. My biodata that was just read, I keep giving lectures. I don't think it's only lectures, it's actually inspiring teachers to become Indian knowledge teachers. So another opportunity for me. And I would like to also mention, I'm not the expert. Maybe I'm popular. That's the advantage of social media. But let me tell you, in this very group, we have got many more experts of Arthashastra. Two of them whom I personally know is Colonel Pradeep Gautam sir. He's also around. And I'm sure all of you may have known his phenomenal work that he has done in the military science and Arthashastra. There he is. Sir, I'll tell you, we have no idea about what Pradeep sir has done. I've been instrumental with IDSA. He has organized 3 international seminars on, of course, the topic being from the armed forces. It was military science. But let me tell you that his contribution should be part of your study. And I'm sure offline you should connect to him, invite him. And the phenomenal work that he has done to bring back Arthashastra in the defense world is a contribution by itself. So thank you, Pradeep sir. You are a role model for me. Of course, another dear friend and another great scholar is Dr. Asavari Bapat. And, being from Mumbai University, I'm telling you, she's another person who requires great appreciation from all of you because, her PhD is also in Arthashastra. She's a diplomat also. She represents India across the globe as a diplomat. And I've, when I met her last time, we were discussing and realized one thing, how much contribution she has done through her lectures, of course, through her contacts. Imagine a diplomat, a wrong word from a person, a diplomat, an ambassador, can actually create wars between nations. But fortunately, we have such people as scholars of Arthashastra and they know how to deal with it. So I would say that yes, it may begin today with my name because my books are popular. But let me tell you, one of the biggest responsibility of all the people present over here is to discover. So many other people are working on that particular field to rediscover Arthashastra, Indian knowledge system, and reinvent it for future generations. I like to start with a story. Every field has experts, every field. Unfortunately, some are known, some are not known. So let me tell you my own story. When I was in the initial stages of understanding Arthashastra, I remember, people used to call me, and by the grace of God, I'm a good speaker. So बकबक करने की आदत है, अभी चाणक्य के ऊपर करता हूँ. So I got an invitation, and there's a small group, and we spoke to them. And one person comes and tells me, have you heard about Mangala Mirasda? Please note these names, because if you're going to start a center, you'll have so many requirement of experts. I said, who is this Mangala Mirasda? वो कहते हैं ना हर फील्ड में उसके एक्सपर्ट्स होते हैं. So they told me Mangala Minasdar is a scholar of Arthashastra. And I had this big ego at that particular time. You know, I am the one who's doing research on Arthashastra. But said, no, Mangala Minasdar has been teaching Arthashastra in the Pune University for the last 35 years. And this big bolted ego just became small. But the researchers may say, okay, if there is somebody better than you, go and learn from him or her. So where is she? In Pune? Okay. I got a contact, I called her up and I said, okay, ma'am, I came to know that you are a scholar of Arthashastra. Can I come and meet you? You know what she told me? I'm very busy in my grandmother role. So she's retired from the university and she's enjoying. I think you should enjoy parenting and grandparenting also. She's like, I'm enjoying. So if you want to come and meet me, it should be between 2 and 5. Because till 2, I'm very busy, getting them ready and sending them to school and colleges. And after 5 o'clock, they come back. So imagine, she was very clear that, I need to only meet her that time. So of course, that was an advantage because I had traveled from Bombay, met her. And the 3 hours I spent with her, I realized one thing, that how small we are in that particular field. She had actually given lectures on Arthashastra in All India Radio. I gathered all those information, and unfortunately, her own PhD thesis is not available. But somewhere I gathered something, and she only had 2 copies of the book she wrote. And I was fortunate to get 1 copy. Why am I telling you this? Is that there are researchers. So when you go to Bhagavad Gita, maybe later on, you'll find a lot of scholars of Bhagavad Gita, some known, some unknown. In the same way, when you go to Ayurveda. So I would suggest that, when they start, we should look at more knowledge and more experts of that field. Believe me, you'll only get richer with that. So giving this background with all humble scholars around, I just want to tell you that today, since it's an inaugural, I want to focus on 3 things about Arthashastra. And then, of course, if there are questions, we'll take it up. I don't want to make it a full lecture because that's not the point here. Maybe some other time we'll look at it. So what I'm going to do while we are revisiting, the first point that I'd like to cover is the background of Arthashastra, which I'm sure many of you know, but from my own research and understanding. Second, I'll be speaking specifically about Kautilya Arthashastra. By the way, background of Arthashastra, I'm going to start by telling Kautilya's Arthashastra is not the first Arthashastra. So that's the difference I want to bring. And third one, which is very relevant, how do you reinvent Arthashastra and make it more relevant? I mean, that's my life journey. And I was fortunate in my last visit at the Ramanuja College with Agarwal sir, with, of course, we had this wonderful inspiration by Jigar sir also. They launched my 22nd book, Chanakya's 100 Best Sutras. So, imagine 22nd book has already been launched by, the college. So I'm fortunate. So if anybody wants, you can Google it. All my 22 books are only on Chanakya. So with that, 3 points, background about the topic. Second is Kautilya Arthashastra by itself. And third, all the attendees who are now looking at a faculty development program, how do you look at Arthashastra from new dimensions? So with that, let me start with the first point, the background. The Arthashastra that we know right now has been credited to be rediscovered by a great scholar called Shama Shastri in the year 1905. Remember, it is still the British Raj. And even the British Raj, they were great princely kings. And one of them was Mysore Maharaja. Mysore, current day we can say it's in the state of Karnataka. And Mysore had the Jnana Parampara. Even though they were princely states, the leaders believed in knowledge systems in their own way. And in the South Indian and specifically the Mysore culture, they used to keep all the palm leaves very safely. One is collating. So they used to keep all this. So palm leaves, traditional knowledge. And they had the system of just keeping it, not throwing it away. And during the British Raj, by the way, there were some scholars, even in the British administration, who knew the value of Indian knowledge systems. So one of them came and said, you have so much treasure with you. Why don't you organize it? Well, okay, we don't understand all this because most of them are in Indian languages, including Sanskrit or Kannada, and a lot of dialects and languages of that generation, the Prakrit languages. So they got us funding and say, you do it. And it was called the Oriental Research Institute. at the Mysore University. It is still there today. And they appointed a scholar called as Shama Shastri. He was a Sanskrit scholar and he could also read and write in English. So they appointed him. And the first thing he did, and what a pain it would have been, I believe. You look at, thousands and thousands of palm leaves. First of all, you need to understand which is required, not required, which is relevant, not relevant. You don't understand those languages. But he actually did a massive work of curating it. And by accident, I will say it again, by accident, he came across this palm leaves of Kautilya Arthashastra. So it was not that he was finding Arthashastra, Arthashastra came to him. Therefore, the year 1905 is called as the year of rediscovery. And he was surprised because he also must have heard in his academic interest that there is Arthashastra. But remember, we are in the British era. Nobody believed that we had our own thought process, strategy, management, etc. And he somewhere found it and he decided to translate that into English. I think that's a phenomenal contribution. First of all, finding an original stuff which is still there. And if you ever get a chance to go to Mysore, please visit the place, the Oriental Research Institute at the Mysore University. Those palm leaves are still there. The Archaeology Department of the Government of India actually carbon dated it. And they found it's 2,500 years old. Of course, during those days, there was no digitization, or Xeroxing photocopy. It is said that, there were many Arthashastras, they were written and kept. And there was parallelly one scholar in Kerala who found a Malayalam version. His name is Shama Shastri. So here we have Ganapati Shastri and we have Shama Shastri. And both of them are friends. It seems they discussed and they said, we have to take this treasure to the world. Shama Shastri translated that into English, and by that time, paper had already come into the mainstream. And the printing happened, and across the globe, from Mysore, Arthashastra reached the world. In fact, the Mysore Maharaja then said, something very nice in his humble way. The people in Mysore know who is the Maharaja. Everybody knows, ye hamara Raja hai. But where is Mysore? The world knows because of Shama Shastri. So think about it, that the discovery of Arthashastra was a world event.
Please mute everyone else. Please mute.
Thank you, Agarwal sir. So think about it, Shama Shastri ji discovered it not for Mysore, not because of the job, but that work actually became a work that became recognized globally. And then comes a very interesting phenomenon. Again, I'd like to re-emphasize, this is still the British era. Okay, the English one reached many corners of the world and it was translated to more than 24 world languages. And I've personally seen when I was in Germany, a German translation done in 1926 or 29. And it said that Subhash Chandra Bose and Hitler had a meeting. Some of you must have heard the story, Hitler and Subhash Chandra Bose met when Subhash Chandra Bose was forming the INA, Indian National Army. And Hitler was very impressed and he gifted Subhash Chandra Bose a submarine. That time it was the highest technology. And he said, this is because we learned military science from you, from the Arthashastra. So think about the contribution and the awareness that happened pre-independence era. Of course, after that, things slowed down. We all got busy in the freedom movement, etc., etc. But what has been put as a seed did not stop. Later on, there were a lot of discussions in our leadership community, especially the lawyers, because they were forming a new India. And be it Mahatma Gandhi, B.R. Ambedkar, be it Dr. Rajendra Prasad sir, all of them had studied Arthashastra. Yes, in fact, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar actually studied Arthashastra in a big way. And of course, there are other scholars, they all went around it, studied, understand. And today, since many of you are from Delhi, even the Supreme Court, if you go, or the new parliament, if you go, there are a lot of thoughts that has come from Arthashastra. So I don't think it's a parampara that is forgotten, but yes, it is not lost, But as they said, the sentence doesn't have a full stop, it had many commas. So Shama Shastri found it. Then, the freedom fighters took it to the next level. And I think now we are in the third generation, where I think we should make it a mass appeal. And that's where we teachers, scholars, researchers have a major role. So now I'll tell you what happened after Shama Shastri. There are many other scholars who wrote on Arthashastra. Like some of the people I like to mention is R.P. Kangle. He was a professor of Sanskrit in Mumbai University. And we have another scholar, Asawari Bapat ma'am, again a Sanskrit scholar. So he actually translated, and I am using that as a very good reference material. R.P. Kangle. The first publication was by Mumbai University itself. Of course, Motilal Banarsi Das published it. It's available even today. And today there are a lot of modern day translations because the publishing industry has become global. And in that big space of many scholars who have written Arthashastra, I have written only 22 books. So I would say, the reading material, a lot of them are available. So I don't want to get into that. But what I'm doing, knowledge is available. But what we need to do is get more students active in researching on this. And of course, I give a promise that if you require any help at my level, which is limited, I'm always available. Of course, the topic will be limited to Chanakya only because और कुछ आता नहीं. एक चीज आता है लेकिन अच्छा आता है. Now coming back, another important point. Arthashastra, when we think, of course, the Kautilya Arthashastra is like synonymous with each other. But let me tell you, Arthashastra as a subject was there even before Chanakya or Kautilya. Kautilya is a person, a scholar, who came to us in the 4th century BC, roughly 2,400 years ago. But the topic by itself was not invented by him. It's a natural science. For example, if you look at a subject like physics, physics was not invented by Einstein, even though we call him one of the greatest physicists or scientists. And he contributed to his theory of relativity, E is equal to mc square, etc., etc. So Chanakya made Arthashastra relevant, and even today is a benchmark. But let me tell you, Chanakya himself studied the previous Arthashastras. And he has mentioned 14 scholars or experts of Arthashastra before him in his own Arthashastra, that is Kautilya Arthashastra. Some of them are Bhishmacharya and Shukracharya, Brahaspati, etc., etc. So he is a very humble person. He says, I studied the previous acharyas of the subject and I present you my own version. So I'm sure there are teachers of different subjects. You have to study the previous teachers, read their textbooks, their theories, and you have a contribution to make on your own also. So before you write a textbook, study many textbooks. Before you become a teacher, be a student of other teachers. So that's the background. So I would say there's huge material available. You can go on and on. But that's only the background. Now I'll come to what is the Arthashastra of Kautilya. I give you the background 1905 from Shama Shastri to have modern scholars. And please look at the publications done by scholars like even Colonel Pradeep Gautam. Please take it very seriously. Make a note. Pradeep sir's contribution is phenomenal with IDSA. I'm sure all of you know, but if not, you have missed out on a living scholar, a living legend. So his contribution is included in the scholarly works, and many military leaders are doing PhD on his work. Thank you, Pradeep sir, for your phenomenal contribution. So that's it. So right from Shama Shastri to Asawari Bapat to Pradeep sir, there are many scholars. And you can take my name if you like it, that's all. But I don't believe I'm the only expert. Now coming back, a little bit technicality about Arthashastra. Chanakya wrote this for Chandragupta Maurya. As you know, everybody knows teacher student, Chanakya Chandragupta. And he clearly says it's almost like a ready reference training manual. So he trained Chandragupta and made a system and process. If India became the richest country in the world, what is the system and process for that? What is the methodology? All documented. It has got 6,000 sutras divided into 180 sections and 150 chapters. The huge topic. Imagine one book having 180 topics. And the subjects are huge. right from education systems, Bunyadi Karikam, to criminal psychology, to military, to economics, to political science, to management, etc., etc. You can go on and on and on. In fact, this is saying, understanding Arthashastra's topic itself is a huge topic, because it's not about one. Sometimes we limit Chanakya to only political science or economics. Of course, they are included, but there are many more dimensions that we can discover as we go on. So I would say, Arthashastra is still available. Please study the model, and there are a lot of new papers coming out based on that. So I know of a lot of students who come and do PhD in political science department. And of course, over here, we have economics as a major subject, philosophy, psychology. Think about Chanakya as a psychologist. So it doesn't matter which stream you come from, you can find some Chanakya element. In the University of Mumbai, we are looking at Arthashastra formally in 4 departments. Imagine. So Arthashastra main subject at the philosophy department where I did PhD, at the history department, at the Sanskrit department. And of course, we have a separate department where I lead. I'm a director called Chanakya International Institute of Leadership Studies. So one university, 4 departments, full-time, they have courses on that. But of course, all of you can get together, think about your universities, your colleges, and which dimensions you want. And I forgot, of course, the law college. They have a full paper on that also. So don't limit Chanakya to one field is my request. So I come to the third point, I would say visiting Arthashastra. Let me start with my own journey. I was very active in my corporate world. And when I started studying Arthashastra, I looked at it from the field of management because I have an MBA background. So I started looking at Chanakya and management. I started reading. And they say Shastra, any Shastra, not only Arthashastra, it's like a mirror. Whatever you are, it reflects back. So I started looking at it as a management book. Arthashastra came to me as a management book. If you look at Arthashastra from a political science, it will reflect you political science. If you look at like economics, you'll see that. So for me, it was a management book. I started reading a lot. I discovered new principles of management. I understand this, that I was already an MBA, studied in the Western methods, but I found, Chanakya has spoken about all these ideas that I studied in a different format. And that's where my first book came out, Corporate Chanakya. And it became a phenomenal bestseller. Today it's been taught as a textbook in various universities in India and abroad. I still remember Corporate Chanakya is a major reference book in Oxford University, which categorizes it as a book of Indian management models. So that is one part of it. But I'll tell you something. Reinventing Arthashastra. When I was doing my PhD, my doctor and guide, Dr. Shubhada Joshi madam, she told me very strictly, your topic of PhD has to be original research. You can't repeat Corporate Chanakya. Because we have to give a declaration. This is the original work. So I will not accept Corporate Chanakya's research as the original research. I was wonderstruck. What to do now? I spent so many years looking at Chanakya's management for the corporate world. And then she told me in a very nice way, she's one of the greatest teachers I have found in my life. She told me, you have downsized Chanakya. तुमने चाणक्य का नाम और काम खराब किया. I said, what? You know what she told me? You know what? Chanakya's wisdom is for the Raj Vidya. It is for leaders. And you only made it down for corporate leaders, for management. It's like saying you have the ultimate knowledge, Brahma Vidya, and you're only making it Loka Vidya. I said, okay, so what should I think? Well, you think. I went around and said, okay, can I revisit Chanakya not as a management book, but a book of leadership? And she liked it. So that's where my contribution a little bit is not just as a management book, but as a leadership book. And I started working on it, and my PhD topic was very different, rediscovering unknown philosophical dimensions of leadership from the Arthashastra. If anybody is interested in having the thesis, if there's an interest, of course, let me know. I'll be happy to give you a soft copy of it. Okay, so it was an original contribution according to them. where Arthashastra and leadership was invented. So I just want to tell you, you discover. In fact, I'll tell you, I tell my students who are doing PhD with me or under me that don't repeat what I have done. So can you believe there's a student who is discovering Arthashastra from a chemistry point of view? Chemistry? I was surprised. But he said, no, sir, there's a lot of chemistry involved in that. Okay, how come? The technical Sanskrit word is Rasayana Shastra. But there's a student of mine who's actually looking at Arthashastra from metallurgy. Metallurgy, alloying. How come? Because I never looked at from that dimension. He told me that the coinage system, we have this old coins. Chanakya was a master of coinage systems. Gold coins during those days. The unit was called panas. And I checked up in the Reserve Bank of India also. Because, in my biodata, you must have heard, I work with the Reserve Bank of India as well. So I found there's a museum in Bombay. If at all you get a chance to go there, please go and take your students for research. The first coinage system is dedicated to Arthashastra. So think about revisiting. Can it be metallurgy? Can it be chemistry? In fact, in the JJ School of Arts, which is again part of Mumbai University, we have a school of architecture. So there are students who are looking at Chanakya and town planning, architecture. You decide. One student from Pune who did his PhD under me, his topic was on geopolitics the Asian way. So the Asian subcontinent, the Indian subcontinent, from Arthashastra point of view. He completed his PhD recently. And can you believe, after his PhD, the External Affairs Ministry called him and he was part of the G20 discussion. So I am telling you all these stories, if you can get inspired by Chanakya, my question is, what is your contribution from a new dimension? So don't limit by the past work. Lot of work is available. So I'm not saying that don't study it, you should. But what did Chanakya do? He looked at Arthashastra from a new dimension. We need to do that as well. And we have scholars, again, like Asari Bapat and Pradeep sir, who can guide you in their respective field as well. I'd like to now maybe stop with a few ideas of my own reinventing, that is leadership. How do you look at leadership from Arthashastra? I'd like to give you a couple of sutras from a leadership angle. So it's practical and at the same time, it got detailed reference. Otherwise, मुझे लगता है और तुझे लगता है बहुत कुछ लगेगा. But praman, in research, you require authentic evidence. Otherwise, it's only imagination. You should have imagination. You should be innovative. You should actually have a lot of new ideas. Yet, from the past comes the future. So let me give you some sutras which help me to rediscover Arthashastra as a leadership book. The one you can see right behind me. Praja sukhe sukham rajnyaha. It's a great leadership principle. Praja ke sukh mein raja ka sukh hai. And then the sutra continues. Praja sukhe sukham rajnyaha prajanam cha hite hitam. Praja ke sukh mein raja ka sukh hai. Praja ke hit mein raja ka hit hai. In the happiness of the subjects lies the benefit of the king, and what is beneficial to the subject is his own benefit. But if you deep down, the two deep words, sukha and hita. Everything that is sukhakari may not be hitakari. But hitakari becomes sukhakari later on. I'll give you a simple example. Nowadays, we have huge infrastructure development happening in India, isn't it? Be it roads, buildings. In fact, we study our national budget. A major part of the national budget is spent on infrastructure. So roads, railways, ports. Now, if you go to any construction site, there'll be a board outside, isn't it? We regret for the problems created to you, isn't it? So when you're building a road, the current road will be done. So they put a board there. For the future, please bear with us for a few months. So remember one thing, it is not sukhakari. When you go, there's heavy pollution. You have to take a longer route. So when a road is getting constructed, in many places, villages have been displaced. because a road will be going through, a new project may be coming up. But in the long term, it is going to be Sukhakari. But right now, it is not Sukhakari. It's very painful. But Chanakya says the leader should have the wisdom what is Sukhakari and what is Hitakari. So leaders should actually work on Hita and Sukha. This wisdom comes from Arthashastra. The second sutra that I mentioned, a very popular one, it's called the Saptanga or the Sapta Prakriti of Chanakya. I written a book also on that, Chanakya's 7 Secrets of Leadership. Swami Amatya Janapada Durga Kosha Danda Mitrani Prakriteyaha. So what is the leadership model? Swami, you require a king. In the olden days, we'll call him a king, but it is unigender. In India, we got a lot of women leadership models also. Okay, Swami Amatya. Along with a great leader, you require good ministers. Amatya. Janapada. What is a great kingdom without any praja, no citizens? That is also required. Swami Amatya Jana. Durga, infrastructure. Fortified cities. Nagara, Grama. Kosha, you require finance, right? What is a country without economic models? That's why we have a lot of migration coming from our country or going out of. Now they're going to come back, don't we? Danda, army, and Mitra. You know, a Raja, a leader also requires, friends. That's an interesting model because it is saying, there's a very famous saying, it is very lonely at the top. I'm sure all of you are scholars, some of your principals of colleges, head of departments, you are there alone. But don't worry, there are many, many people at the top. So organizations like this bring many leaders together, right? So you have principal association. So when you can't speak to your bosses, you can speak to another principal. And he will say, "Arey, मेरे इधर भी यही problem है." And वो कहते हैं ना, बात करने से दर्द कम होता है. So every principal will think, I have the own problem. But when you go to a principal association, you will realize it's the same problem. In fact, day after tomorrow, in Mumbai, I'm addressing an organization called Sahodaya. I don't know if you heard about it. And Sahodaya is an association of CBSE school principals. And I'm addressing actually 1,000 principals physically. I said, okay, common problem. And you know why they come? People say they come for networking and learning. No, they actually come for venting out their problems. So what happens during the lecture is one thing. But what happens during the tea break is the major thing. They will exchange cards, they'll exchange numbers. And of course, a principal has to keep calling people for seminars, right? So you may go as a chief guest for one program. Later on, you have to call somebody for your program as a chief guest. So I know this because I also organize seminars. So today, if I'm a chief guest, tomorrow I also require a chief guest, right? And I always tell, principals of schools especially, there's a checklist. They require 5 chief guests minimum every year. Republic Day parade, Independence Day, you require a chief guest for a sports day, annual day, foundation day, I don't know how many days. Now coming back, think about it. This word called Mitra is an essential requirement of leadership. And we find that in every field. In fact, I was addressing a few defense leaders. There's this institute called Staff College, where again, Pradeep sir is an expert. We have Mitras coming from various countries. They're colonels. Many of them are very, very high position leaders. But, the Army, Navy, Air Force, not only of India, but from other countries come together and they have a lifelong bond. So, Swami Amatya Janapada Durga Kosha Danda Mitrani Prakriteyaha. Can you reconsider it? And today, the key word in leadership is called collaborative leadership. So leaders come together not to fight against each other, but to bring each other together to make this world a better place. So this was some of the ideas. The last one, which is my favorite, which I have discovered in my own research, what is the work of a leader? This is a very philosophical question. एक leader को करना क्या है? Unfortunately, till now, leadership has been understood as a job of activity. you'll be surprised लीडर को कुछ नहीं करना है, but फिर भी बहुत कुछ करा के लेना है. You know, if you are being a worker, you'll think like a worker. If you become a manager, you'll still think like a worker who is managing. Once you become a leader, you don't think like a leader. You think like a worker and a manager. You know, it's like saying that you are in school, now you're going to college. From college, you're going to university. But unfortunately, first time in college, you're still thinking like a school student. Leadership is a very high role. Doing is not leadership. And Chanakya is very clear. There's a sutra which says the work of a leader is thinking. A leader's work is thinking. And we don't have time for thinking. And everybody says, I got burnt out, I got stressed out. But Chanakya has got a solution for modern day stress of leaders. It is called Buddhi Yoga. I'm sure many of you must not even heard about it. Buddhi Yoga, because yoga, when you say, it is generally understood as asana, yogasana, physical level. Of course, that's only one part. So if you study Patanjali Yoga Sutras, it's much beyond till Samadhi. Now leaders are supposed to be intelligent, right? They have to work with the mind and intellect. And can you believe it? This concept of Buddhi Yoga is a leadership quality. And Bhagavad Gita also speaks about it. Of course, we look at all the yogas, karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga. But for leaders, Chanakya suggested Buddhi yoga. So this is the reinventing Chanakya from a leadership perspective. You know, my work is just to introduce and inspire you. I have done enough. I just want to tell you there's so many dimensions we don't know. In fact, I tell you, one student came to me, I'm still trying to understand Chanakya and artificial intelligence.
Yes.
I don't know. You know, I'm still trying to debate. But I realized one thing. I told my student, you know, in the world of artificial intelligence, Chanakya would contribute natural intelligence. Well, if using so much of technology, you should. But don't forget that every system and process finally requires a human brain. So administration can use technology, but administrator should be smarter than technology. People get very worried. Cyber attacks. Okay. Cyber attacks, do all your security checks, cyber security, do all the work to prevent cyber attacks. But the question is that suppose, in spite of all the things that happens, then what? Mama. What is the quality of a leader who is actually having that mindset to face the problems? So yes, if there is an Arthashastra in AI, I would say Chanakya would talk about Anvikshiki, NI, natural intelligence. And finally, I'd like to sum it up over here by saying, let us not forget one more dimension of Chanakya, the spiritual dimension. Because when you look at all these, we get into extremes. Of course, we have to be successful in this world. But there's a very famous saying that Chanakya's knowledge helps you in this world and the other world. And therefore, Chanakya's ideal leader is called Raja Rishi. Imagine, no other country in the world could contribute such a great concept of leadership. Raja plus Rishi. So he is actually a spiritual seeker. And the greatest example in India, I would say specifically from Maharashtra, is Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. In fact, if you have studied his models, he is also called as Srimanta Yogi. He's a yogi, but he's also rich. Leaders will be in power, isn't it? You have power, position, budgets, economics, but you have to be spiritual. So as you're discovering new dimensions and reinventing new aspects of Chanakya, let us not forget. Finally, he's a great rishi who wanted human race to also become spiritual. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. I think you have set the tone for the course and very well explained. See, I have learned several things out of it. I'll try to apply some of them maybe because the kind of, the background and Kautilya's Arthashastra, how to reinvent. And then, you went upon work of a leader. Very, very good, question. What is the work of a leader? And then definitely, in management books, we say getting things done, but you have said another thing, it's a thinking all the time. once you think, only then you can get the things done. Otherwise, it's difficult. So, well, thank you very much, sir. You have really set the tone. That's what we wanted for this program. And I'm sure that our participants have benefited a lot. And, they will definitely get into some of these aspects, and probably their life, their teaching, their administration, their other work, spiritual life might be little better after doing this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I now invite Ms. Isha Gangwani, the convener of the program, to familiarize the participants with the rules of the faculty development program.
Yeah, so thank you so much, sir, for the lecture. It was wonderful. Coming to the participants, finally to the rules of the program. First of all, registration is compulsory for participation, and an official group has been made for communication with the participants on Telegram. So you can download the app from the App Store or the Play Store. And the link to join the official group will be provided in the confirmation mail. And at the end of video lectures, there are quizzes and assignments which are mandatory to be attempted, and a minimum score of 50% is in total is required to avail the program's completion certificate. Graded certificates will be awarded to the participants based on the performance, and as a part of the Ministry of Education's requirement under the Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya scheme, all participants need to submit online feedback for each session. Also, since it's an online program, there is no requirement of no objection certificate or leave is not required to participate in the program. Failing to meet any of these requirements would result in denial of the completion certificate. So on this note, once again, hope to see your active participation in the program. Thank you so much. Now I request Dr. Aparajita Majumdar, who is the co-convener of the program, to deliver the formal vote of thanks.
So on behalf of Ramanujan College and the entire organizing team, first of all, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, for joining us this evening. As our chairman sir has mentioned that each of his minute is very valuable, and he has spared this time this evening to give us food for thought and open up our minds to Arthashastra and its various applications, including metallurgy, artificial intelligence, and I'm sure our participants here who are from varied fields will carry forward this in their classrooms, will discuss this with their students and try and look at Arthashastra in a completely different light. Thank you so much, sir, for igniting our thoughts. I also take this opportunity to thank our chairperson of the governing body of the college, Dr. Jigar Inamdarji. This entire FDP has been his brainchild. He sowed the seeds, and we then, nurtured it, and were finally able to design this entire program. Probably without his nascent idea, we would not have even thought of designing a program on this line. So heartfelt thanks to Dr. Jigar Inamdarji. I would also extend our heartfelt thanks to Professor S.P. Agarwal, Principal Ramanujan College and Director Teaching Learning Center. Sir has always supported us in our endeavors and has been a constant source of encouragement. And it is without his support, conducting such a program would be very, very difficult. So thank you so much, sir. I would also take this opportunity to thank our program director and IQAC director, Professor K. Lata. She has been a constant support and has been advising us and guiding us throughout designing of this program. Our resource persons are the most valuable assets, our experts who have devoted their time and their knowledge to enrich this program. And I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Colonel Pradeep Gautamji, Dr. Suresh Rangarajan, and Dr. Anna Nath Ganguly, who have delivered lectures for this, recorded lectures for this program, and has also joined the inaugural session today. I take this opportunity to thank our Media Lab assistants, Anilji and Vinodji, who have worked tirelessly to edit these videos and put them together in the proper format to be uploaded for our participants. I would also like to thank Mr. Ravinder Bisht for providing IT support. We extend heartfelt thanks to the technical support team, Dr. Nikhil Rajput, faculty at Department of Computer Science in Ramanujan College, Mr. Vipin Rathi, faculty at Department of Computer Science, Ramanujan College, Dr. Ashish Kumar Shukla, faculty at Department of Statistics, Ramanujan College, Dr. Sachin Tomar, faculty at Department of Statistics, Ramanujan College, and Ms. Shikra Yadav, faculty at Department of Political Science at Ramanujan College. Actually, organizing a program like this needs a lot of back-end support, and our technical team works to ensure that all the videos, lectures, and other important information is always uploaded on time and is available without any technical glitch. So, heartfelt thanks to them. I would also extend our heartfelt gratitude to the organizing team, Dr. Vishakha Sharma from Department of Economics and Mr. Chandan Kumar Sharma, Department of Management Studies. We have been working since last 3-4 months to contact our resource persons, get in touch with them, coordinating with them, recording the lectures, and getting them to share their thoughts. And it has been a long process, and they have been there always supporting us. Thank you so much. And finally, a big thanks to Ms. Isha Gangwani from Department of Economics, the convener and the sutradhar of this program. She has tied us all together in the last few months. And finally, a big thank you to all the participants who have joined the inaugural session today. Even though it is an online program, we do hope that the next 2 weeks become an opportunity for all of us to engage in a meaningful discussion on Kautilya's theories, his ideas, and his relevance. Through this course, we intend to build a forum where ideas are cultivated and discussed. And by the end of this program, we hope that all the participants will be able to apply their knowledge that they have gained from this course in their teaching and further research. So with that, a big welcome to all of you. And the lectures for the day 1 will be uploaded shortly on the portal. So you can visit the portal and view the lecture and accordingly participate. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Aparajita. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.